So I hate complicated online businesses, and that is why I started Amazon KDP. Now, KDP is a way for people to basically make their own books and sell them on Amazon, who handles everything for you. It's kind of like dropshipping, but 10 times better in my opinion. And you don't need to be a writer. You can use software and AI to create basically everything. So today I'm going to show you the fastest way to launch your Amazon KDP business as a complete beginner, literally step by step. And again, not some old, generic advice, but what actually matters in 2026. So why KDP? Well, it's all fun and games selling products online until you realize your shit is stuck in China and you have 1,000 complaints. But with KDP, you're fine. It doesn't actually require any inventory or customer service because Amazon quite literally does everything for you, and they're a world-class expert in delivery and fulfillment. I've tried Amazon Prime one too many times, and it's pretty crazy how quickly they can send your stuff. I still haven't gotten used to it. Now, KDP is also great because of the low barrier to entry, and if you have a budget, that obviously helps, as with anything in life, to be honest, but it's not necessary to start KDP. It's also a pretty straightforward business model, but most things actually take months, if not years, to learn because of all the different moving pieces and things you gotta, manage and maintain. You gotta be an expert on sales, you gotta be an expert on marketing, you gotta be an expert on products and fulfillment and customer service, delivery, all that crap. With KDP, you literally just create your products and you do some marketing, and that's pretty much it. But I do want to say that you definitely have to put in the work. It's a real business. And once your store is set up, you will spend most of your time kind of optimizing and launching new books while Amazon, maintains and handles all the fulfillment. So I would say that if you do want to free up your time, it's a pretty good business model, but you do have to put in some work up front. So now let's talk about the types of books that you can create. And I'm gonna make it very simple. We have 3 different categories. Is that 3? I think so. The first category is high content books. Now, these are very standard books that you read by an author. They're fiction and non-fiction books basically, and they're very text heavy and they're pretty hard to create because it's a book. Now, you can hire a ghostwriter, but I don't recommend starting here. It's a little bit more expensive, it's a little bit more difficult. It's just more advanced creating a whole book. You don't want to do that. The next type is going to be medium content books. Now, these include things like coloring books and puzzle books, and they are easier to make, but they still take some effort. And then we have the low content books. Now, these include things like journals, planners, calendars, notebooks, basically things that are much easier to make, and this is where most people begin, for a good reason. But I do want to say also that they are more competitive because they are easier to make, so more people can make them. It's pretty simple. Now, there are many tactics, especially for low content books, and luckily I'm going to share some of those now. So the first step of Amazon KDP is to find books to create, obviously, duh. Not just any book, but a book that would actually sell. That's why we're gonna do some keyword research. Now, we're gonna see what people actually look for and try to buy, and what they're actively buying, so that we can hop on the trend and create a book of our own to sell. Now, the biggest mistake I see people making when they create a book is they find a topic interesting and then they try to sell it or sell a book on it. We don't wanna start from scratch, right? We wanna see what people are actually already purchasing and make that. So for research, I use a tool called BookBolt, which I'm also a partner of, and there are other alternatives and you can use whichever one you want. But BookBolt is one of the most popular. It's been around for ages and it's really affordable and it's pretty, it's easy. It's the one I'm familiar with as well. Shameless plug, but you can also try them out for free and see for yourself using the link in the description, and also get 20% off using my fantastic code LearnWithLucas. That's my name, by the way. So it's a pretty good deal. Now let's create our book, okay? So you want to click on BookBolt Studio. I'm going to show you this on the screen now. And BookBolt basically created a platform that lets you kind of design perfect KDP books that meets all of Amazon's requirements and comes with so many different features that can make your books pop, which, it's good to make them stand out. For example, I'm just going to create a puzzle book in this video because I am lazy. And these are very popular on Amazon and would be considered medium content books. And they are easy to make, so they're perfect for me. Now, you want to start by picking one clear puzzle type. You don't want to focus on like 10 different things, 10 different puzzles. I'm going to do one word search puzzle type, okay? That's it. Now, before even touching the book creation studio though, you want to validate your idea. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Amazon and look for word search puzzles for kids, let's say ages 8 to 12. So what do you actually look for here, okay? You want to see demand. We want to see that people actually want to buy this, and that's why we look for reviews and people actively buying similar products. But that's simple, right? Anybody could do that. So the thing is, at the same time, we want to find an opportunity, not a too crowded market, because if there are tens of thousands of reviews and thousands of products, you're not going to be able to compete with these established products and brands. You will be invisible. So we want to find that sweet spot spot with a decent number of reviews. So one example here could be reviews under 500 and a bestseller rating under, let's say, 300,000. These numbers are estimates and will depend on the category that you're going for. Now, if you see multiple books meeting these criteria that we talked about, there is demand while still being an opportunity that you can jump on. So we're trying to basically find the perfect match between demand and opportunity without being too competitive. So now, how do you create the book? Okay, obviously that's, an important part. So we're gonna head over to the Book Bolt Studio, and I'm gonna create a new project, keeping everything pre-selected and just putting a name on it, which in my case is gonna be a very creative name of Word Puzzle Book. Great, right? So in the creation here, the first page is gonna cover both the front and the back covers, but we're gonna take a look at the actual content, because let's get that done first. So click on this little puzzle icon in Book Bolt, which actually means templates. And yeah, we're gonna use templates because we don't want to start from scratch. You can then search for Word Search Standard, which is going to find us a couple of these options. And click on this one and add it to the first page. You can then continue to options, and then you can choose everything about the puzzle, how you want to create it, if you want, different words, how many words you want, what colors you want on the puzzle, how do you want everything to look. Everything can pretty much be customized. Now, for our example, I'm lazy, so I'm just going to skip all of that, and I'm just going to generate the puzzle right away, or we're gonna sit it for hours, and I think it's better you just go create it yourself after. Now, you can upload a CSV file if that's what you want. That's obviously great if you want to make a specific puzzle with certain words about a specific topic, but for now we're just making a general puzzle, so we can use their built-in puzzle generator and we can skip a few steps. Again, perfect. Now, BookBolt offers many different tools for creating puzzles and other content, which I really love because it makes the process easier, and easy is usually good. Now, just click random words and then we will proceed, and it's basically going to generate a puzzle for us. So you should now see two new pages. One is going to be with your puzzle and one with your puzzle solution, which you use to solve the puzzle. Wow. Obviously, this doesn't look very good, and you would repeat it and you would make a lot more puzzles because, we have one puzzle and it looks awful. So you would obviously go through and actually do this properly. But for now, we're going to go with it, save your project, download it if you want to, and bring it to our next step. Now we have a book, but how do we continue from here? The worst thing you can do is get stuck here. So you would definitely want to hop on the next step right away. And that is to upload the book to Amazon KDP. And luckily, it's actually super simple. All you gotta do is sign up for a free Amazon KDP account. It takes like 3 to 5 minutes. If you spell really slowly, it might take you longer. And then you can basically start to publish your book. Now, you're gonna have to enter a few key details here, including the title, you gotta figure that out, and the author, description, and all of that. So I'm gonna go through this with you in a second. First, for the title, you wanna include as many keywords as possible to make it easier for people to search and find it, and also for Amazon to recommend it to potential customers based on their keywords in the title. Very important. I recommend up to 80 characters. You don't want it to be too long or Amazon will start to punish you instead. So what you want to do is you want to start with a short, concise title that's easy to read both on desktop and mobile for all the users. A lot of people are on mobile now. And then you want to add more keywords at the end to continue describing the product a little bit further. Now, you don't need to use your own name. You can use a pseudonym, that's completely fine. Or you can just use a brand name as well and make it up. That's completely fine too. You want to add a description, add the keywords that we found earlier, and start uploading the interior and the cover of the book. Now you can set the price, and I recommend pricing based on what your competitors are actually charging, and then you can just submit it and wait for your approval, which can take up to 3 days on Amazon KDP. That's it. Now, unfortunately, I do have some bad news. Your work is not done yet. Many KDP tutorials just basically focus on creating books, but then they don't talk about how to actually market it and then how to actually get sales. And if you don't know that stuff, nothing else really matters. That's the truth. Our goal is to get our first sales and reviews within 30 days. And reviews are really the king on Amazon. Like, I never buy anything without reviews. So your first challenge is getting those initial reviews that make people trust you and even want to buy it in the first place. Because literally, I promise you, the perfect product, even if people want to buy it and they see it, if it has 0 reviews on Amazon, most people aren't just going to buy it for that reason. So it's also good for us because we actually want to validate our idea and our book to see if people actually want to buy it. If I fail to do so within 30 days, I would personally drop the book idea, as there are so many different books and ideas to try. And you can just publish it and leave it. You don't have to delete it, but there's no reason to keep, pushing and promoting something that's not generating sales in the first place. So now, how do you start and how do you actually get that initial traction? I recommend using free or very cheap marketing methods, and that includes posting in Facebook groups, relevant forums, and telling people about it, especially online. You want to make sure that you tell the right people. If you have a product or a book for fashion designers, go find a place where fashion designers hang out. Online communities and the internet make this so much easier than like 20, 30 years ago. That's going to be hard work. It's going to be hard manual work to do this in the first place, but you don't have to do it forever. It is just to get that initial traction. And I'm saying this because it's not a good place to be to just publish a product and sit there. You can actually do things to make it work after. There are plenty of options for you to do. Now, if you have a little bit of budget to spend, which I don't assume you want to do, then you can also run some paid advertising and get those initial reviews and test it out pretty quickly, because if you do spend some money on ads, you'll instantly know if people buy it and you can track it with much more data up front and pretty quickly. That's honestly an intermediate level, and most people end up wasting their ad budget, so I don't recommend that you start there. Plus, you need a budget to do so. Launch a few products organically first to get an idea and a feel for Amazon KDP. It's like the best way to learn. The goal of everything that we're doing is to increase sales velocity, so Amazon will then show your book to more people on the platform and more buyers. It is called the flywheel effect, and it's how Amazon built their business, because basically what happens is once you start getting reviews and more customers, it will just keep growing exponentially. So don't worry if you're not getting any sales on day one. That's actually the point, and that's completely normal in Amazon KDP. Now, some extra tips I learned the hard way that I want to share with you. Whatever you do, try to make it as premium as possible. Okay, so Amazon KDP is no longer what it used to be. There are competitors. It's not an open market for everybody with, no competition, but there are still plenty of customers. Amazon is the world's biggest bookstore, and it's growing every single day. And there are still ways to stand out, especially once you understand the basics. Focus on branding after to make it look really lovely and feel expensive. That way you can charge higher prices, you can stand out from the rest, and actually build a brand and a business. Now, you can also do something crazy, like you can translate your products into other languages, especially once you get a winning product, to maximize sales on your book. That's an option too. All of these things let you not only sell a few products, but actually build a long-term KDP business. You can then introduce ads later, you can introduce email marketing, other promotional channels to really scale it up and build a long-lasting KDP business. But word of caution, don't get caught in all the complexity when you start. Don't spend all day just watching beginner tutorials. Just give it a try, start, and see for yourself. That's it. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.